And I am very happy. Are you happy in your relationship?
Yes, this relationship is a happy place for me. It's like
I love that you use the word happy place.
No, but seriously, it's like for me, it's one of them things where I found where I can seeing her happy.
Pure artist, man. Like she's a special artist, but then to have someone who, most importantly, when it comes to relationship, it's just like it's like equal yoke.
Jennifer Hudson just turned the tables in a way nobody saw coming. The streets are buzzing, the whispers are getting louder, and the tea is scalding hot. Because this isn't your usual celebrity back and forth. This is a straight-up plot twist that feels like a movie. On the surface, everything looks sweet. Cum was out here calling Jen one of my greatest blessings and talking about how they were equally yoked. That sounds like soulmate energy, right? But here's where it gets messy. What if all that public praise was just a pretty cover-up for something way deeper and way darker? Jen herself has been glowing, saying her happy places calls with that man of mine. But hold on, was that love only shining one way? Word on the street says there's a new man sliding into Jen's world. And Cum might have found out the hard way, or worse, maybe he hasn't even caught on yet. Imagine getting blindsided like that while the whole world is watching. Now, people are saying Cum got hit with the truth like a ton of bricks while everyone else saw the receipts flying left and right, and trust me, these weren't just petty screenshots. This is about pride, power, and a supposed love story that just flipped into a full-blown showdown. The kind that leaves both reputations shaking and everyone asking, who's really in control here? But first, how did we even get here? This story didn't just explode overnight. The warning signs were flashing long before anybody dared to speak up. If you look close, the cracks in that picture-perfect image were showing way before the headlines caught on. Jennifer Hudson and Common's paths crossed years back, long before the whispers of romance.
I'm very grateful. I thank God each and every day, and I'm just letting God guide this relationship.
Because God is in it, right?
God is in it.
That's right. Listen. Okay, this is the happy place. And we
speak on it.
She the one you say.
Speak on it.
I heard that.
Speak on it. Speak on it.
But here at the happy place, we like to respect people's privacy, so I'm not gonna ask you too many more questions about that. Yeah. But you know, everybody wanna know, so I had to, Ms. Hudson had to get into that thing.
We keep it private, but I wanna acknowledge how wonderful she is, how great she is, so that's good.
Yes,
Yeah.
I feel that same way about my partner.
Both Chi-Town legends, both stacked with awards, both respected as icons in their own lanes. They weren't just two stars brushing shoulders, they were being spotted together at charity galas, live music events, and by 2024, they even ended up starring side by side in that sci-fi thriller Breathe. And let me tell you, that movie wasn't just another paycheck. It was the kind of set where sparks couldn't be hidden no matter how hard they tried. Cameras were rolling on screen, but off screen, people were whispering about chemistry you just couldn't fake. By early 2023, the paparazzi started catching them everywhere. Philly, Chicago, Malibu, you name it. The lenses caught it. Suddenly, grainy photos were leaking, Instagram accounts were dissecting every glance, and TMZ was blasting Just Friends headlines. Both of them kept smiling in interviews, laughing off questions, but the internet wasn't buying that script for a second. Fans were convinced something real was happening behind the scenes. Then fast forward to July 28th, 2024, Common pops up on the Mama I Made It podcast, and around that 20-minute mark, he drops a bomb of his own. He calls his relationship with Jen one of my greatest blessings and the most important thing in my life. He goes deep about partnership, alignment, even saying they're equally yoked. On paper, it all sounded like a fairy tale. But fans, they caught the vibe instantly. It felt less like love and more like Common was turning their relationship into his personal spotlight moment. The tone was off and people started asking, was this really about Jen or was it about him? It wasn't just we're in love, and it was more like, look at how much I've grown to deserve her. That subtle flex didn't slide past anyone. People clocked it instantly. Common was out here turning their romance into a story about his personal evolution. Like being with Jen was proof he'd leveled up in life. And that rubbed folks the wrong way because it wasn't giving partnership. It was giving performance. Meanwhile, Jen kept things low-key. She focused on her talk show, her music, her projects, and when she did mention him, it was quick little gems like calling him that man of mine. During the Martha's Vineyard African American Film Festival, sweet, right? But notice, no long gushy speeches, no endless monologues. Jen wasn't out here oversharing. She kept her tone classy, private, almost guarded, like she knew what she wanted and what she didn't. Yeah, he popped up on her show once or twice, smiling for the cameras, but word behind the scenes? Jen wasn't thrilled about how much their romance was being used as part of his public image. She wanted love, not a PR campaign. Privacy mattered to her, while Common seemed comfortable putting their relationship on display like it was part of his brand. That tension was brewing quietly, and people close to them felt it. And remember when I told you there was one night that would change everything? Here it is, the breaking point. Right after the Grammy hype cooled off, Common hit up an exclusive post-awards bash at Delilah's in LA. No cameras were allowed inside, but let's be real, industry folks can't keep their mouths shut. Word leaked fast. Whispers about Common getting way too cozy in a corner booth with a tall model-type woman. Guests swore the energy wasn't just friendly, it was intimate, almost flirty, the kind of thing that makes people pull out their phones under the table. And while no footage surfaced, the gossip hit the streets before sunrise, and once it's out there, you can't take it back. The whispers from that Delilah's night didn't just fade, they spread like wildfire across Hollywood. By the next morning, blogs were hinting at mystery woman sightings, and insiders swore the tension in that booth was undeniable. Suddenly, Jen's team was in overdrive, trying to keep her image clean while the internet went into full detective mode, zooming in on grainy photos and matching bracelets, nails, even hairstyles to figure out who this model type really was. And here's where it got messier. Industry folks claimed that when Jen found out, it wasn't from Common himself. The tea is, she heard it from a mutual friend who couldn't hold it in anymore. Imagine getting blindsided by whispers about your man, not in private, but with the whole world already dissecting the story. That's a different kind of heartbreak, and people close to Jen said she was shook. Instead of firing back in public, Jen pulled a power move, silence. No Instagram quotes, no talk show comments, just calm and collected energy like she was waiting for the storm to play itself out. But her silence only made people louder. Fans started flooding her comments with support, while others began questioning whether this love story was built on shaky ground from the start. Meanwhile, Common, he kept moving like nothing had happened, showing up at events, smiling on red carpets, and sidestepping questions with that signature charm. But the streets were talking. Some insiders even claimed that Jen's inner circle was pushing her to walk away before things got uglier. Because once receipts are out there, even whispers, they don't just disappear. And now, people weren't asking if the breakup was coming, they were asking when. When the whispers finally hit the mainstream blogs, it was like someone lit a match in a gasoline room. The internet exploded. Within hours, hashtags were trending. Number JENDSERVESBETTER, number COMMONEXPOSED, and even number WHOISSHE. Fans weren't just watching, they were choosing sides, dissecting every interview clip, every red carpet photo, every little look between Jen and Common like detectives cracking a case. Jen's silence was powerful, but it left space for the world to project their own theories. Some fans claimed she was playing chess, not checkers, waiting to make her move at the right moment. Others thought her quiet meant heartbreak had hit harder than anyone realized. And then came the eagle-eyed sleuths who started rewatching her talk show segments, pointing out times where her smile looked forced or when her tone felt different. Suddenly, every gesture was a clue, every laugh a potential cover-up. Common, on the other hand, couldn't escape the storm. At one event, a reporter casually slipped in a question about loyalty in relationships, and his awkward pause was enough to go viral. Memes popped up everywhere, captions like "equally yoked and with who though" flooded Twitter and TikTok. The man who once proudly called Jen my greatest blessing was now being dragged for turning love into a PR storyline that backfired in the ugliest way. What made it even crazier? A few celebs started chiming in without saying names, posting cryptic subs on Instagram like "protect your peace, queen" and "not everyone deserves access to your energy." People instantly connected the dots to Jen, fueling the fire even more. By this point, it wasn't just gossip anymore. It had turned into a cultural moment. A love story that once looked like Hollywood gold was now unraveling in front of millions, and the whole world was watching to see if Jen would clap back or cut him off completely. And here's the kicker. It definitely wasn't Jennifer Hudson sitting in that booth at Delilah's. Common wasn't exactly hiding either. He had his arm draped around this mystery woman most of the night, laughing, leaning in close, whispering in her ear like they'd been comfortable for a long time. People in the room said it was undeniable energy, the kind of vibe you can't explain away as just friends. But here's the sting. Jen didn't hear it from him. She didn't get a call, no warning, no explanation. She saw the same whispers we all did, blowing up online. Imagine being Jennifer Hudson, an EGOT winner, a respected star, a woman who's kept her dating life private ever since her split from WWE star David Otunga, reading headlines about your man cozying up to another woman like the rest of the world. It wasn't just personal betrayal, it was public humiliation. And in Hollywood, image is currency. Jen isn't just another celeb. She's hosting her own talk show, her name attached to major sponsors, big money advertisers, and powerful producers. Having your boyfriend linked to some mystery model in gossip blogs doesn't just hurt feelings, it shakes up business. Suddenly, every boardroom and studio exec was side-eyeing, wondering if her brand was about to take a hit. Insiders claim that by then, Jen had already iced him out in private while throwing subtle shade in public. Half the industry was whispering about patterns, about whether Common's blessing speeches were just smokescreens. And then Jen leveled up. She wasn't just dropping hints anymore. This time she moved with intent. Now, before we go further, let's be clear, there's no rock-solid proof, no camera-in-hand receipts. But Hollywood doesn't run on proof, it runs on perception. Behind the scenes, both camps were scrambling. Common's team tried damage control, while Jennifer's camp allegedly pushed the narrative hard. Jen was laser-focused on her work and family, and her personal life, not up for discussion. Common's rep finally stepped in, allegedly revealing that the two remain good friends and insisting those recent headlines don't reflect the reality of their relationship. Classic PR spin. On paper, it sounded polished, but fans weren't buying it. Meanwhile, Jen was out here playing the game like a chess master. From a revenge optics standpoint, she checked every single box. No direct mudslinging, no messy quotes, just silent dominance. The kind of move that keeps her image sparkling clean while still letting the public connect the dots on their own. That contrast was crystal clear. Common's vibe came off defensive and dismissive, like he was brushing it all away. But in the court of public opinion, the one who looks unbothered usually wins. Jen's calm, collected silence had her fans rallying behind her, painting her as the queen who refuses to let drama drag her down. And still, nobody really knew the truth. No joint statement, no official breakup announcement, no confirmation of we're done, which meant every public sighting, every Instagram post, every interview snippet suddenly became a puzzle piece, with fans desperately trying to assemble the real picture. And just when it seemed like the noise was dying down, boom! A blind item dropped that turned the whole story inside out. The rumor that Common's new flame wasn't just some random model, but allegedly someone tied directly to Jennifer's inner circle. If that's true, this wasn't just messy, it was betrayal on a whole different level. Fans lost their minds, insiders whispered about lines being crossed, and suddenly what looked like just another Hollywood split turned into a storyline of loyalty, trust, and ultimate backstabbing. Since that blind item hit, Common's been ghosting, no new interviews, no fresh social posts, no red carpet appearances, radio silence. And in Hollywood, silence doesn't mean peace, it usually means someone's hiding from the storm that's still coming. For a man who's usually smooth in front of cameras, Common's sudden silence has people raising eyebrows, it feels noticeable, suspicious, almost strategic. But here's the part nobody's really talking about, and it's the piece that might matter most. PR insiders are whispering that brands tied to Common are quietly monitoring the situation, calculating every headline. And why? Because Jennifer Hudson isn't just another celebrity, she's one of the most bankable daytime TV hosts in the game right now. It's one thing to get caught up in romance drama, but it's a whole different ballgame when the person you're clashing with controls major network airtime, sits on top of a hit talk show, and, let's not forget, has Oprah's number on speed dial. That's power, and in Hollywood, power decides who gets invited to the table and who gets iced out. At this point, the actual relationship status is still a complete mystery. No official breakup, no statement, just silence. But silence doesn't stop a story. In fact, it makes the narrative louder. And right now, fans have already written it. Jennifer is being crowned the wronged classy queen, playing chess while keeping her dignity intact. Meanwhile, Common is being cast as the charming but predictable guy who let history repeat itself. Again, social media even came up with a new nickname for him, Common being Common. Brutal. Now the million-dollar question hangs in the air. Did Common just fumble the most high-profile relationship of his entire career? Or is there something even more scandalous hiding under the surface? Maybe someone connected directly to Jennifer's own circle or even her show? Or is this whole saga just a storm built on whispers and perception? Either way, Hollywood's watching, and the next move could decide both their legacies. The internet's been going wild. Every blog, every fan page, every gossip thread has their own version of what really went down. But here's the truth. This story is far from over. The next public move is what's going to tell us everything. Will it be a red carpet sighting that shocks everyone, a surprise duet that flips the narrative, or maybe another shady Instagram post that sends fans into meltdown mode? Whatever it is, you can bet it'll speak louder than any press release ever could. But now I want to hear from you. Do you think Jennifer and Common are officially done? Or is this just one of those Hollywood PR storms designed to keep their names buzzing? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading them because this debate is heating up fast. And don't forget, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this video with your crew so nobody misses the next twist. Trust me, the tea is only getting hotter and you don't want to be late when the next bombshell drops. See you in the next one.